I've reached a point in my life where my Truman Show boat has hit the painting.
Twitter will do lots of dumb things in the coming months.
I don't care about the economics at all.
The only lab company that is actually really focused on leading with transparency.
They've got the money to spend and they're not afraid to use it.
His approach is to do anything required to keep his businesses competitive.
The luxury yachts, the tropical islands and pioneering space ventures. The life of a billionaire is nothing but the best.
Once I am, I will eventually be president.
A lot of people wanted to get on board this next rocket ship to riches.
I think it's the most interesting fraud case I've dealt with.
They're behind some of the biggest luxury brands and some of the boldest companies on the planet.
And liftoff. The Adidas announcement delivered a $1 billion blow to Kanye's crumbling empire.
And how quick can it all come crashing down? These are the biggest billionaire blow-ups. How could we look any further than Kanye West? Ye has quite the resume. He's a rapper, record producer, fashion designer, and entrepreneur from Chicago. He's also one of the most successful and influential musicians of his generation, known for his innovation and public persona.
We the real rock stars, and I'm the biggest of all of them. I'm the #1 rock star on the planet.
He's a jackass.
Can you believe that?
West first gained fame in the early 2000s with his work as a producer for Jay-Z and other artists before releasing his debut album, The College Dropout, in 2004. He's since released several more, including My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Yeezus, and The Life of Pablo, which have received critical acclaim and commercial success. West is also known for his fashion and style, including his famous Yeezy clothing line. But in 2020, Ye announced his bold plan to run for US president.
I have decided in 2020 to run for president.
He was on the ballot in a number of states, but ultimately did not win any electoral votes. His campaign was marred by a number of controversial statements, and some criticised it as a publicity stunt. But being a billionaire comes with the heavy price of public scrutiny. West had a series of public outbursts and erratic behaviour that led many to believe he was experiencing a personal meltdown.
2 days before I was in the hospital, I was on opioids. I was addicted to opioids. I had plastic surgery because I was trying to look good for y'all. I got liposuction.
And was said to be receiving treatment for mental health issues. Throw in his public separation from longtime wife and billionaire herself, Kimmy K, and Ye's billionaire status was blowing up.
I mean, I married the best rapper of all time. He's the richest black man in America, a talented, legit genius. When I divorced him, you have to know it came down to just one thing. His personality.
I could say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Now what? Now what?
And after a number of anti-Semitic comments, Adidas ended its nearly decade-long partnership with the rapper. The company was sent into a PR nightmare and forced to separate itself from Ye's hate speech.
The Adidas announcement delivered a $1 billion blow to Kanye's crumbling empire.
The President of the United States does not have meetings with Elon Musk. That's fucking retarded.
Posting swastikas is an incitement to violence. I personally wanted to punch Kanye, so that was definitely inciting me to violence.
Next up, we have the smooth-talking business magnate who's made it big in the tech space. Elon Musk has become a household name.
Good idea for an electric jet.
You do?
Yeah.
Then we'll make it work.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Tesla Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Wow.
Leading the charge on the ground with his fleet of EVs at Tesla and taking to new heights through his SpaceX ventures. He's also taken the reins as the self-described chief twit at Twitter. He bought the platform for a staggering $44 billion in 2022, citing a bold plan to open up the digital town square. From his ambitious environmental plan to his vision of colonizing Mars, the billionaire boss has shown no signs of slowing down.
Well, the challenge that Elon is going to have at Twitter is, what are the stakes?
But some might know him best for his high-profile public statements and controversial actions.
Musk posted about an unsubstantiated conspiracy theory. There's a tiny possibility there might be more to this story than meets the eye. There was also more than a tiny possibility that this would amplify the misinformation. And though the tweet was deleted, that's exactly what happened.
Musk wasted no time firing key executives and half of the company's workforce. It's all part of his bold plan to cut costs at the social media giant. There was even a period where he didn't pay rent for his offices in San Francisco. Then there was the Twitter Blue fiasco, in which users could pay a subscription that adds a blue check mark to their accounts. But it left some users outraged when leaders from the Taliban regime began paying for their own blue ticks. Of course, that hasn't stopped Musk from tweeting and polling his millions of followers, asking questions from everything about the war in Ukraine, and reinstating Donald Trump back on the platform. Months after his Twitter takeover, Musk's fortune took a beating.
By the time Musk was forced to acquire the social media company on October 27th, after trying to back out for months, his estimated 82% stake in Twitter was worth nearly 40% less than what he paid for it.
At one point, his net worth dropped by over $7.5 billion, and Tesla shares suffered a steep loss. Musk even took out a new record for the largest loss of personal fortune in history and lost his spot as the world's richest person. In fact, Forbes believes the South African billionaire lost up to $182 billion in the year leading up to 2023. And with that, we're on to Elizabeth Holmes.
The health and well-being of every person, of those we love, is a basic human right.
The businesswoman and CEO of Theranos. She rose to prominence in the early 2000s after promising to revolutionize the medical testing industry by making it easier and cheaper to get blood tests. A technology trailblazer, Theranos used a small amount of blood from a finger prick for testing instead of the traditional vials of blood. Her success led to her quickly being compared to the likes of Steve Jobs because of her black turtlenecks and charismatic speeches.
Every single day, someone's life is better because they can afford access to health information they couldn't afford before, and they begin to get tested in time to improve outcomes.
Her entrepreneurial spirit gave Holmes the title as Forbes' youngest and wealthiest self-made female billionaire in America. But it all fell apart a year later when the company's technology was unable to perform the tests as advertised and wasn't cleared by the FDA for clinical use.
A lot of the things that were being said about the company were not actually what was going on behind closed doors. This new revolutionary device, it wasn't actually in existence.
The scandal led to criminal charges for Holmes and her former partner Ramesh Sunny Bulwani, who were charged with massive fraud. The pair raised millions of dollars from investors after making false reports about the company's tech and finances. While the pair pleaded not guilty, the scandals surrounding the company's fraudulent practices caused its value to drop to zero. The blow-up also saw high-profile investors like Rupert Murdoch and the Walton family lose big time. It wasn't pretty for Holmes either, who was sentenced to 11 years and 3 months behind bars.
Elizabeth Holmes was found guilty on Monday for 4 counts of fraud and conspiracy to commit fraud.
Her fall from grace has seen the entertainment industry go into overdrive.
The world works in certain ways until a new great idea comes along and changes everything.
Viewers can get a glimpse into the rise and fall of Elizabeth Holmes. And there we have it. 3 billionaires and 3 massive blow-ups. It turns out being in the public eye is just a little too much for some of these trailblazers who lost their wealth after a string of criticism, bad mistakes, and legal drama. We've seen Kanye West's claim to fame as one of the greatest rappers of all time before a pretty public meltdown and hateful comments landed him in trouble with major sponsors. Elon Musk angered Tesla investors for spending a bit too much time on Twitter. Maybe the bird is a little too free after all. And of course, Elizabeth Holmes might need a get-out-of-jail-free card after being convicted of fraud. And that's where we leave with a lesson for all would-be billionaires. Life in the public eye seems to come with quite a heavy price.